All right, this is the Mendon Select Board. We'll call the meeting to order at 5:34. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I just want to say something real quick. Jesse's out there by herself. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You see?
Did you get a copy of the agenda?
I did not.
All right.
Oh, that's okay, I'll go with it right here.
Do we need to add or delete anything to the agenda?
I will say that Chris and I were not able to get together yet. We're gonna try to get together this week to look at the driveway above yours, Brian.
He told me to get together and talk about.
We had talked about it. We just,
No, my other neighbor.
I have not, but,
He told me today he did.
so,
So,
we don't need to add that,
Okay.
but it's just something to be thought of.
okay,
Just giving you a heads up, so we don't have to go into other business.
Okay, if not, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need a second. Did you second? Okay,
Second.
so I didn't hear you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Administrative matters. We had 2 sets of minutes, one with Megan and I, and then one with the 3 of us. Did everybody get a chance to look them
Yeah.
over?
I did.
Do you want to sign now or before?
Sure.
I've signed them.
Yeah, I'll leave it open for
Okay. Thank you.
And that's just
Mhm.
Same, is this something we need to sign, same, 13 months?
Oh, yeah, it's this driveway. Or no, you have to sign off on it.
Which then I'll
Somebody does, yeah.
Do they just sign for select board? All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yep. Still the house.
Somebody.
Carol, I believe.
Stickies are coming off. I think there might be one more in there that I'm missing because the sticky came out.
I signed one and needed one signature on that last thing, so I just did it since I had it open.
Oh, this is done then?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes from June 24th, 2024 and July, not actually do them separately, right? So June
Yeah.
24th was Megan and I. Make a motion to approve the minutes from June 24th.
Last second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And to all three of you, I'll make a motion to approve the July 9 minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also, under administrative matters, the signing of orders, we have check warrant. I'll make a motion to approve the check warrant in the amount of $21,576.55.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I have a separate check warrant for 500. Or is that? Yes. Okay, for $500.
For what?
Am I allowed to say specific names? It's a check for one,
It's for animal control.
animal control.
Animal control.
Animal control, okay.
Okay. Jesse, page we missed here in front of you, Mel.
This one? No, these are mine. This is.
Oh,
just-
okay.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
That was in the amount of 500. All in favor?
Aye.
No. Is that total 461 after taxes? It was initially, okay, so I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to approve $461.75. Sorry about that. One more payroll. Make a motion to approve $11,782.14.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Val, can I just clarify those motions? So we had the first orders of $21,576.55. And then the
Yes.
second motion, was that for 461.75 instead of the
Yes.
500?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
It was-
Okay, and then the third one was payroll for 11,782.14.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to announcements. We still have an opening in our highway department. It's a highway maintenance equipment operator. Position. Any other announcements?
I have one other announcement. Recently, the playground was installed at the recreation area on South Mendon Road. It is now open with wood chips underneath it, so everybody should go down and check it out.
great.
Yeah, awesome.
I have a question about that, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Is there certain hours that playground?
Good question.
It's open to,
And
yeah.
like around the dusk kind of thing, I'd be out there and find somebody who would like me to move them along, or, I don't know if this is the right time to ask that question.
No, it's a great time.
No, it's
It's a great
fine.
time, thank you. Sarah, what the sheriff is asking is, are there set times for the open to close?
Yeah, so the recreation area is open from dusk to dawn, or dawn to dusk.
Okay,
Perfect. Answer my question.
yeah,
I
thank
just
you.
got a sign amendment, so I'm still working.
Yeah, no, that's great, that's great. You get to know Wheelerville Road.
Oh, I know Wheeler Road, but.
Okay, public comment, 2 minutes per person, please. Justin Lindholm.
Yeah, Justin Lindholm, I just want to give you folks a heads up on the town garage property, the southern boundary. It's going to be developed on the other side of your boundary. To just make a note that some of that development is right tight to your line as far as the roadway and cul-de-sac, or one of the lots that's going to be developed by Smith. And I'm recommending that the town tell him to mark the property wet, that line. The rest of it's got stone walls on it, but this one here goes straight to the woods. And there's a remnant once in a while in the woods of a barbed wire sticking out, not much, and we don't even know if that barbed wire is the line. And the first drawing that they did, they had the existing well at a much different distance from that line than it actually was. So it would be very good. Send them a note or something that we'd like to have, just so the town property isn't encroached on while he's doing his development.
So send it to him because it's town property, I get it, so there'd be.
Yeah, it's the town garage property. It's about 150 yards long, and there's corner pins or end pins, but you can't tell by backing off an end pin whether you're 3 feet on it or where you are.
Right.
And so it's best that while he's doing his development back there, even for heavy equipment and whatever moving around, that he stays off that line, because he is developing right to the line with that cul-de-sac road.
Yeah.
For many feet.
And that's coming in off of Cedar Lane, correct? Is that coming in off of Cedar Lane?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But the first.
I'm familiar with the guys who are doing it.
First cul-de-sac for the first lot is
Yeah.
right up to the town property line.
So Sarah, is that something should be sent by the select board to him?
Yeah, is this still Corcel surveyors that finalize their survey, Justin?
Yes.
Yeah, so, we can also have Chris go out and mark what he thinks our line is and request the developer mark where their boundary line shows. That way we make sure that we're on the same page.
I have Howard's phone number. Should I give that to Chris or his email? Howard Smith, or should we do it more officially?
I believe Howard has contacted him, but it would be beneficial for you to just forward that information to Chris.
Chris,
And,
okay.
I believe he has it, but that would help.
Okay.
We're all set. Brian?
This is offhand.
Yeah. Oh, okay, go ahead, Brian. Brian is referring to Justin's.
So if you want, why don't you have the town do a survey?
That's what Sarah just said.
Survey was done.
So I don't know why you.
Just check it. Well, it's like Sarah's saying, have our own surveyor do it, and then they can compare to ours rather than us comparing to theirs. I think that's probably better.
Before he sells the lot.
Right.
Make sure it's covered before then.
Right. So are we on top of that?
So it sounds like I'm gonna send Howard's contact information to Chris, and Chris is gonna reach out to him so they can agree where the line is.
I would say so.
Correct.
Yeah.
And mark it.
And
And
Mark,
Mark.
yeah.
Any other public comment?
Yeah.
Brian?
So I remember last year.
Brian Gates?
Yeah, Brian Gates.
Thank
You
you.
actually wanted me to do a survey for my neighbor's driveway, if you recall, in the minutes, actually, you did. I have a problem, the zoning administrator, we sent in a complaint for one of my neighbors, Gordon Stakes, for a woodshed that he didn't have a permit for, then he did have a permit, but he lied on the permit. You guys made me move a container that was within 50 feet of the road. His building is way within 50 feet of the road. Steve's already told me that, but he will not violate. I want to know why. And I want to know why he won't violate my next door neighbor's driveway as well, because obviously it's ruining my property and the town's. It's a clear violation of 4027. And that was 3 years ago. I've been talking about this. You've cleaned it up like 6 times. Why aren't we violating these people? And why isn't he violated like he violated me? Made me move my building, but he won't make him move his building? It's a lot of discrimination and nepotism going on. Can you explain?
I'm not the zoning administrator.
So you just pass the buck? Who does the zoning administrator answer to?
I can pass on the information.
No, I want to know who he asked to answer.
As far as the neighbor's driveway, it's in the process right now.
No, yeah, why haven't they been in violation?
You just have to, because it's in the process, so we'll see.
Of
where we go.
violation?
Yeah.
We'll
How
pass this on.
about Gordon State's shed that's clearly. a
Pass
violation?
this on to Steve. This is
I've
not,
already talked to Steve, he's blowing me off, that's why I'm coming to you.
that's also not I will get in touch with him. Thank you.
It's
Any other,
almost like trying to get
any
rid of Jack for violating my constitutional rights.
other public comment? Okay, under business, fiscal year 2024 financials. And we will set the 2024, 2025 tax rate.
Okay,
So, take it away, girls, ladies, women.
I have an extra, if anybody would like to reference the past
sure.
to
That'd be great.
2024.
Jesse, would you like me to just run down the changes in the budget?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have in front of you, Select Board, a year-end financial spreadsheet that will demonstrate what the cash number is at the end of this fiscal year 24, which is a total of
So the 70,181?
Oh, this is the same thing.
no. So in order to cut, it's $58,691. Is the surplus?
Is that here?
So if you're looking at the budget summary, that is 23-24 budget.
Yeah,
Calculating the surplus, it's 58,691.
oh, there it is, okay, I didn't see that, got
And
it.
that's calculated by taking the amount that was not collected in taxes and adding the revenue and the expenses. Revenue that was over budgeted revenue and underspent expenses, and subtracting that amount that was not collected in taxes to come up with our $58,691 surplus.
So the not collected by taxes is $29,000
Is $20,432.
up here, 20, okay.
And some of those taxes might have been collected this month, but we don't, that this is for year end of fiscal year 24.
Got it.
So looking at a surplus of 58,691, Jesse and I are recommending that we utilize a cash forward number of $28,691, retaining $30,000 for excess highway funds.
Okay, and this, all right, I'm following you.
So Sarah, in the past, you always want to give some back because the number is so much lower this year. We would never give the full amount to the highway. That would never happen.
Well, it's really a balance. Jesse and I discussed this, and we want to return as much of that surplus to the taxpayers as possible. At the same time, we incurred over $100,000 in damage from the rains last fall that we were not eligible for FEMA funding on, and so between that and what Chris discussed at the last meeting, the road commissioner, about additional expenses in the changeover of personnel for the highway department. there's certainly a demand for excess funds to be allocated to highways. We actually underspent the highway budget by $70,000, but with the implications of the other two sections of the budget with administration and public safety, it lowered the actual surplus to the $58,691.
Okay. And what is, I know I'm only asking to move things along quicker. What is the number for the highway department that we usually start out with? Is that usually close to, it's a little over 100, right? After we set the tax rate, we usually start the highway department funding is over $100,000, but less than 150, is that right?
I guess I'm not following that. I mean, the infrastructure budget is, I don't have that total. Well, maybe I do have that total.
It's here.
Well, so-
Infrastructure budget's right here.
No, the,
Yeah.
I know we have a budget, but after we set the tax rate, when we roll over money to the highway department, we give some back to the residents. That
Correct.
number's larger than our budget.
That number is what she just gave us, 28.
Yeah, not necessarily. I think what you might be getting confused with is the cash, the amount that we retained in excess highway funds from last year.
Yeah.
So this year, that number compares to the $30,000 that we're recommending.
Okay.
So Sarah, and I'm looking at this form, both say budget, which is, what is one budget and one's actual, correct?
Yeah, so the actual would be the 23-24 budget. I apologize that I didn't change the heading on that one.
So is the one on the left the budget and the one on the right the actual?
Correct. I'm sorry about that. I'll correct that. So,
Can you give us any thoughts on where we were over? Just in general, why we were over? It looks like there's some grant expense.
oh yeah, so on that report, there is the column all the way to the right that will calculate where we were over in expenses and under. So, it's a number of different line items that all add up to that. But in the changeover of the town clerk and treasurer, that went over budget as we paid out requirements of vacation time. The tax collector collected more in taxes. That's a percentage of fees, so that went over. We were under budget on the the bookkeeper and assistant clerk position. We were over budget on the tax collector, but that again is a wash with the fees that come in under revenue versus what's paid out. We were under budget on advertising and warnings, appraisal, animal control. We were both, just a couple $100 there, but appraisal services, we were over budget by $1,700. Auditing was $1,000.
And are those things that we've corrected in this year's budget, or are they just things that happen?
Well, they are things that happen, and because we've already set the fiscal year 25 budget before,
Oh, that's right.
like knowing that, it might take another budget cycle in order to make corrections to increases. So it really depends on the line item, Megan,
Yeah.
on whether or not we have advanced knowledge before town meeting to set the budget with more concrete knowledge.
Okay.
So, and, you know, Jesse highlighted a lot of these, the overages and unders in the report that she provided to you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Some of the information that we discussed today is the accrual of some expenses into this next year's budget. Some of the invoices that were expenses incurred under the fiscal year 24 were not paid until the first week of the 25 fiscal year. So those will be accrued back to the fiscal year 24. These included some salt expenses, gravel expenses, expenses for the Barstow shelter, and that's it. Those three line items.
It looks like we were under budget on gravel and on salt anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah, we're still under budget on that. And some of it is a little bit artificially reduced because, well, salt is what salt is, but the gravel, we incurred $14,250 in expenses to deal with the emergency of the washout of the roads in August. Some of that money was spent on gravel, but it was put under a different line item of miscellaneous road expenses because we have to keep those expenses separate. We were hoping that it was going to be a declared disaster, but it was not in August. It was in July, but not August in Rutland County. So we weren't able to submit those expenses to FEMA, and we didn't qualify for the public assistance program.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And then some other expenses that we left into, or I just want you to be aware of, is that we had some grant expenses with the Homeland Security grant, which replaced, which fortified our emergency operations center, which replaced computers, a shredder, and a projector. We were eligible for grant funds with that, but it was the expenses came out of fiscal year 24. We're not going to get reimbursed for them until fiscal year 25. So we do expect to see additional revenue in fiscal year 25, but we just haven't, that didn't occur in the same fiscal year. Another similar situation was the Transportation Alternative Program grant, which is the Route 4 scoping study. We incurred $42,426 in expenses, but we've only received reimbursement back for $33,010.94. We do expect additional income to be reimbursed when that grant closes out as well. So that puts us in a better situation of anticipating increased revenue for next year, but we don't know until we receive the funds.
So, that said, is this the municipal tax rates? The pie, with the pie chart?
Do we
Yeah.
start with a motion to approve?
Well, first, I just want to make sure that the select board agrees to the recommendation of carrying forward $28,691 with retaining $30,000 for highways.
Yes.
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 Is that something we need to make a motion for?
We're going to set the tax rate with that balance, so it's going to be taken care of in a second. So
Okay.
I just wanted to go over the next spreadsheet, which is the 24-25 budget. On the first line item, you see the carry forward number of $28,691.
Yep.
So that reduced the amount to be collected in taxes to $1,168,609. That would be the next line down.
Mm-hmm.
When we set the municipal tax rate, we take that number and we divide it by the municipal grand list, which is, $2,413,107. So now if you look at the 24-25 tax rate page that I provided to you, you'll see that 1,168,609 takes in consideration the cash forward number, and you divide that by the grand list, and it sets the municipal tax rate at 0.4328.
I'm looking at 4928.
I'm sorry, that is a
I'm looking
typo
at
too.
4928.
It's 4823. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
What am I missing?
42.8 for, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
hold on a second. I just want to make sure my numbers are correct. If you look at the homestead and the non-residential rates, it's the 0.4823 plus the homestead education rate of 1.4729 plus the local agreement tax of 0.0010 for a total tax for homestead at 1.9562.
Okay.
And then comparable is the non-residential rate. You have, that encompasses the municipal tax rate as 0.4823 plus the non-residential education tax rate of 1.5495 plus the local agreement tax of 0.0010. That comes up with a non-residential tax rate total of $2.03 or 2.0328.
Got it.
Where you see a typo on this page, and I will correct it, is at the next line down, municipal tax rate should read 0.4823, as stated above under the homestead and the non-residential rate.
Instead of 4.3.
You had all the numbers there.
Instead of 4328, that was last year's tax rate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's ironic. Same numbers.
Essentially, the municipal tax rate went up 5 cents.
And the education tax went up.
The education tax rate went up 27 cents for homestead and 16 cents for non-residential.
I thought the non-residential paid more.
Not in every town. So every town is different with that, Megan. And that would be one of those education formulas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in the motion, I would request that you set the municipal tax rate at 0.4823, which then sets the homestead rate, overall homestead rate at 1.9562 and the non-residential rate at 2.0328.
Okay. All in one motion?
Yep, you can do that all in one motion.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the municipal tax rate at 0.4823. The overall homestead tax rate will be 1.9562. And the non-residential rate will be 2.0328.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Sarah, just out of curiosity, is
Absolutely.
there anywhere on here what our grand list was last year? I'm
Grant,
just curious how much it went up.
yep, so. Actually, it's not on here because I only have the estimated.
I'm just curious if the grand list went up from last year to this year in Mendon.
I'm not sure, but we'll pull out those numbers and let you know about that. Our grand lists are also posted on our website.
I'll look it up then. I just thought it was right here. I was curious if, real estate values had gone up in the town this year. That new development built by next year.
Okay. Are we all set?
We're all set with the tax rate.
Move on to our employee evaluation and salary. We will be entering executive session. Make a motion to enter executive session to discuss employee evaluation.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
So we go into executive session, and then we have to come back out of executive session, right, Sarah?
Yes, in order to close the meeting. This is the last thing on the agenda.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, thank you.
Now you can do the tax bill.
Good luck.
Do I have to kick the sheriff out as well?
So you guys are going like a private thing, I can hang out out there.
Can you?
I don't need to be here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
I just wasn't sure what I was supposed to do.
That's all right.
Jess might be leaving anyways, you can escort her.
Yeah, make sure Jesse gets to her car.
Okay, I am going to stop recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
Got it? I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Seconded it?
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
I will make a motion to set a pay increase for the town administrator at the amount of $30.67, effective July 1st, 2024.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And in addition to that increase, there has been a annual review completed for the town administrator.
Yep.
And that you're just on that evaluation that we are going to pursue the 90-day evaluation for Joy Hatfield.
Yes, we will pursue that in the next week.
Okay, we can adjourn the meeting at 6:40.